On today's episode, we'll talk about what you're looking for as a camera operator, working on almost every Star Wars movie, A Bridge Too Far, Superman, and of course, knowing which pub to drink at in order to get that next job. Just a little bit of business before we start. There may be a curse word here or there in this episode, so please listen responsibly. As always, our website, theop.io, is up and chock full of tips, tricks, and gooey operator goodness. Make sure to check out The Breakdown, where the best operators in the biz explain shots they have done, The Musings, where we discuss everything from quick tips to larger concepts of storytelling, the answers, the images, and so much more. I may or I may not take a break or two during this episode, but I promise that none of them will be longer than 22 seconds. Finally, if you are enjoying the podcast, please follow us, write a review, share us with your parents, and talk us up around the water cooler with your friends. So grab a beverage, sit back, and enjoy the op. Thanks for listening.
Lock it up, nice and quiet, and let's roll.
Rolling. Victor 30 Echo, take 2.
Hey, Margaret. Be Mark.
And camera set. And action.
Hello and welcome back to the Op Podcast, the podcast where we talk about operating and the art of visual storytelling. I am Dave Comides, your host, and I'm coming to you from Langley Vale, Epsom, outside of London, from the home of Tony Jackson, who is a camera, B camera, steady camera operator, you name it, has done all sorts of things. Couple of things that he's worked on, not everything. Star Wars episodes 5, 6, 7, and 8, V for Vendetta, Skyfall, 28 Weeks Later, Shaun of the Dead, Patrick Melrose. He's worked on 10 James Bond films in one manner or another, which I know he's going to talk about, and a ton of other things. He is an Emmy nominee for, along with a bunch of other folks, for Carpool Karaoke, which I think is awesome. And I'm really excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So tell me, how'd you get into the business?
Well, it started a long, long time ago when I was a kid, and I'd always wanted to be an actor. And my parents obviously weren't too enamoured by it. They were publicans, and I think my mum decided to put me in a public school, so it kept me out of the way. And
Wait, and a public school here is what we think is a private school.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it sort of kept me out of the way and kept me busy. But I still never lost it. I mean, I left school fairly early when I was about 16, 17. And I always talked about the film industry to my friends. And this one guy came up from a youth club I used to go to and said, look, there's a little job as a messenger for this company in town, if you fancy doing it. He was their Aerial Image Oxbury cameraman. And I said, yeah, great, fine. So he got me an appointment to go and see this guy on a Friday.
Yeah.
And I went up there, a guy called Les Nutt. There's a company called Pneumo Productions. And we had this interview, and he asked about me and sort of what I wanted to do and everything. And I said, well, I just want to work. I got fed up with school and all that. He went, great. And he said, right, I'll see you then. Thank you, Tony. And off I went. And just before I got to the door, he said, do you know what a production company is? And I said, not a clue. He said, great, I'll see you Monday. And that was it. That's how I got the job.
So the fact that you didn't know anything,
Yeah,
actually
he was over the moon with the fact.
this is in London, or where is this?
Yeah, this was at 140 Piccadilly, which is, if you know London at all, 140 Piccadilly is on Hyde Park Corner.
Okay.
It's right on the corner. It's quite,
well, Piccadilly's like where that big black fountain is, right? So is it right there?
well, Marble Arch. You got Marble Arch one end, and you got Hyde Park Corner
okay.
the other end. So it's Hyde Park
So
Corner.
you're in the heart of it, basically.
Yeah, and you're a mile away or so from Soho, where all the labs and all the studios were.
Okay.
Which we'll go through in a minute.
Yeah.
And he said, I'll see you Monday. So great. So I came back Monday, and I didn't realise how lucky I'd been. I got known in the business. I from a chance chat to this guy, because I was always talking about the film industry. I went straight into this company. It's got a studio of its own. It had 2 cameras, an Arri Flex 2C and an SR35 Mitchell.
Oh my gosh.
Which they used most of the time. And they had one on the shelf called a Newman Sinclair with a wooden mag, and it had the most beautiful...
Oh, with a wooden mag?
Yeah, wooden mag.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never even heard of that. Okay.
Yeah, it was great. They screwed on the top like that.
Oh, I'm going to have to find the picture of this. That's incredible.
and it was a square, big old square. It's with the hand crank and all that. But
But hand crank that, like, you'd crank up the you crank it
you'd
up and
count
then
it.
let it go, or
Yeah.
you'd actually crank and that would be the.
it's like elephants have big ears. Elephants have big ears. Elephants have big ears.
That's what you would say to keep
Yeah,
the. That's amazing.
And so we had all these different toys to play with, and the movements inside these cameras, I thought was a thing of beauty because it was like a train engine, the wheels of a train.
Oh yeah, like the what are the pull down claw, and then
Yeah,
there
the
was
pull down and all that. And
There's another thing for the term that held the film in place in between, like the I forget.
oh,
what
the
it's called.
plate, the pressure
The
plate.
pressure plate. Yeah, exactly.
And so basically, let me. I was carte blanche. Just work on the cameras, and so it's great. So I used to be a messenger running backwards and forwards to Soho, and Soho in those days, I fell in love with it. I mean, it was so full of bad things. And for a 16-year-old, it was fantastic.
Wait, this is mid '60s or
No,
early 60s?
early 70s, mid 70s.
Okay.
And
Was it sketchy, or was it? I mean, was it kind of like not? I mean, a lot of crime there, or
well, no, it was a lot of prostitution.
Okay.
The X films used to be in there.
Gotcha. Okay, so sort of like
the
Times,
blue film
Times
industry.
Square in New
yeah.
York back then. I got
Yeah,
you.
and but it was full of characters.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely full of characters. I mean, Mead Street was where a place called Studio Film Labs was, which was run by a guy called Russell Lawn, and or his dad. Sorry, Peter Lawn. Russell was his son, and next to it was a clip joint.
Was it
was
what?
A clip joint.
What's a clip joint?
Well, where you'd have women working there. They'd call you through the window, come in and have a beer,
Oh, okay.
buy them a drink, and then before you know it, you've got an empty wallet
Okay.
and nowhere to go.
Yeah. All right. Wow.
They used
Okay.
to fleece you. And of course, we'd finish working, which would probably be about 10 o'clock at night. And they say, right, you off to the labs. And they had this little letterbox that could fit about 2,000-foot cans in.
Okay.
But in those days, we used to have about 5,000 or 6,000-foot cans. So you had to sort of tape them twice. So we used to take them all in one and then cut it and then do it. So I'd be outside the door for quite a long time. And 16 years old, I came from public school. I didn't know what it was. It was a boys' school. And to have this woman come out and say, "Here, little one, fancy a bit," and I'm like, "What? Fancy a bit of what?" And it's like, and then the sudden reality going. Then I started to sweat and think, "Oh, I've got to get away. I've got to get away."
Yeah.
And trying to do that with the panic of getting everything right.
Oh boy.
But then when you look back at those days, it was so much fun. And
I'm sure.
And they used to know us saying, "Oi, Curly, over here," after a few years. And I used to get to know them, and they were all sort of faces of the area.
That's hysterical.
But I used to love it.
Yeah.
And you had the marquee around the corner. So it was a bustling place, and all the film industry was there.
Sounds like you were in the middle of it. That's really cool.
We had we had pubs we used to go to for work,
Yeah.
which I'll come to in a minute because this was after I left Pneumo. Because then I spent 2 years there, and this was in a day of you either you got a union card and you can work, or you haven't got a union card, you can't. So it was a closed shop, and so to get to open the closed shop, and so I got no one there, no one for me. I'm on my own. Les really looked after me like a second father.
Yeah.
And plus the fact that every Friday everyone got so smashed in the industry. It's the end of the week, and everyone got so smashed. And on one of those parties, you end up like, I was 16 years old, and I'm drinking like a lunatic.
Yeah.
With all these other people, all these guys that were like ex-fighter pilots. And all
Oh
that.
my God.
Because that's how the film industry became about. It was a lot of army guys came in, because it was run really regimented.
Sure, it makes
You know,
sense to them. Yeah.
When people said, right, get me that 18mm lens, 18mm lens.
Yeah.
And give him the lens. And
Sure.
it was very army.
Well, and also I always thought about it from that point of view of like you can go on any set, and if you know your job, you just fit right in because it's all compartcompartmentalized
Yeah.
and everything works
Oh,
the
exactly.
same. And it's the same as the army. Yeah.
I mean, everyone was. I never spoke to the cameraman because he was two above me. Because I was the loader,
You're the loader. Yeah.
and I could speak to the focus puller anytime, and they say, right, ask them for the teas. You know, ask them if they want a tea and all that. Because I did the teas, the food. I used to get the food up, put it on a table, and I used to go right over the top, put tablecloths on and knives and forks.
I've heard that back in the day when you were the clapper loader, that was the biggest part of your job. And also, someone told me that the other part that was very hard was getting money back for that you spent on the tea from that.
Tell me about it. Yeah. Can I have £5 for the month? Sod off. That's like, but you're earning
that's
you're
paying
earning
your
10
dues.
times more than me. Just get the tea and shut up.
I'm just making sure that what I heard was you had to know how everybody's tea, because everybody has
Oh, yeah.
their tea differently, right?
Oh yeah. The color, the sugar. It's like, oh my god.
And was this back with the tea lady in the cart and the squeaky
Yeah,
wheel?
yeah, that's right. That's right. At Pinewood Studios, the first thing I did there, for real, was Space 1999.
Oh my gosh!
And,
it was a TV show, right?
Yeah,
okay.
with Martin Landau and Barbara
With
Bain.
that, like there was like a big like RV sort of thing on the moon that drove around with all those
Yeah,
wheels. and
that's
stuff.
right. Yeah, the Eagle.
Yeah, oh, that's great.
And we used to work 8:30 in the morning till 5:30 at night. On Friday afternoon, I used to drop the clapperboard at 1 o'clock, so we had the 15 minutes, because they say, right, we have to take 15 minutes, and it was my job to actually stop the shooting, no matter how I did it. So what would I put the clapperboard in? I'd drop it on the floor. I go, oh, sorry, and pick it up, and they go, oh God, we've gone over the 1 o'clock. We have to we have to go on for another 15 minutes. So we do the shot in 5 rather.
Yeah.
And have 10 extra minutes
okay.
for lunch, always, every Friday. And it was little things like that.
Yeah.
And we finished at 5:30, and that was it. And off you went. And it was like, and the tea lady came in at 3 o'clock, and literally, I used to have to keep my eye on what they were filming on my clapperboard, and keep one eye on the stage door. And at 3 o'clock, when that stage door opened, if I wasn't the first person in that queue to get the egg and cress sandwich, because they only made one, for 50 people.
And was that the egg and crust for the director of photography, or
Yeah,
all right,
or it may be the operator.
yeah, but whoever wanted it.
Yeah, whoever wanted it, but it had to go to the camera crew.
because the grips and the electricians and everybody else were sending their own person, so you had to be at the front of the line.
But also, we were the Purple Road Mob in those days.
You were
we were
what?
known as the Purple Road Mob, like royalty.
Oh.
You know, I could actually
Purple
walk.
Road. Oh,
I could
road.
walk to the front of the queue. Can you imagine doing that
saying
nowadays?
Camera was
Yeah,
considered.
camera was. We were there. That was it.
Now you're not wearing jackets and ties back then, are you?
No.
Okay.
No,
It was-
thank God
this
for
was
that.
after
No,
that.
that was slightly before
Yeah,
my
I
time.
don't know when that time.
But
finished.
I had worked with people that were still doing that.
Well,
at the
Kelvin
time.
Pike, who we talked about, he was doing
Yeah.
that back in the day. I just didn't know when the transition happened.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few gaffers at Pinewood that Johnny Swan or Johnny May. They used to wear collar and tie.
Yeah.
You know, but it's
great.
like it's a hard thing to get out of.
But so if you were in camera, you were sort of the elite.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were, and we were allowed to punch into the queue. You know, it's like, excuse me, camera.
Yeah.
And it was literally, excuse me, camera, and everyone had to move.
Really?
If I did that nowadays, I think I'd be lynched.
It wouldn't work out so well. Yeah,
You'd be finding me hanging upside down.
things have changed. Yeah. Now, is there still a tea lady that comes on?
No. No, we've now got we've gone towards the American side,
Craft service.
which is craft service. So it's running all day,
Yeah.
and that's a way of making yourself fatter by the minute.
There's no question
Because-
about that. But actually, the question. So back then, throughout the day, was there not food and stuff to be had?
No,
Yeah, you just had.
nothing. There's nothing unless you went and got it yourself.
Yeah.
Which is another little job of the loader, which was my job.
Yeah.
And there was a petrol station just outside Pinewood, which doesn't exist now. But I used to go there, and because my father was a publican, I used to buy cigarettes and all that and keep them in a dark room.
Wait, your father was what?
A publican. He owned a pub.
Oh, public. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Okay. Yeah. All right.
And
sorry.
he owned a pub or a bar, whatever
Yeah.
you'd like to call it.
Yeah.
And so I used to buy cigarettes off him wholesale, put them in the camera room, the cigarettes I knew people smoked. And then they say, oh, Tony, go to the garage, which was like a good 10-minute walk there and a 10-minute walk back. They said, go to the garage and get us a packet of cigarettes. So, yeah, sure. And I used to rush off to the dark room, close the door, lay back, read the newspaper, have a cup of tea. This is what's good about being a loader.
Oh, this is great.
Take a packet of cigarettes off the shelf and go straight back to them and say, right, you owe me
Yeah.
whatever it was for the 10
And
shillings.
charge them full price for.
yeah,
the
charge
wholesale
it full price.
All right.
So I made money.
So you made a little off it.
It's like the tea, you know, I used to make
Yeah.
the tea. So I bought the kettle, bought everything, bought the tea bags and all that. And I used to charge them a £5 a film. Everyone used to have to give me a £5 for the kettle.
Yeah.
And then someone said, that kettle has been on 4 films that I've been on. I went, yeah, but it's like, you know, he goes, yeah, but. And he picked it up and smashed the hell out of it. He said, now buy another
Buy
one.
another one.
Because we bought that 10 times over.
That's great.
So you got done a few times.
Yeah,
But,
that's great. That's fantastic.
but anyway, back to Pneumo Productions. So anyway, I was really lucky. I ended up doing Original Oxbury for them, doing a thing called the Little Mermaid cartoon.
The movie.
Not yet the movie.
Yeah. Oh wow.
It was, I think Disney did one and then we did one.
Okay.
And desperately can't remember the director of it. He was a Canadian guy. But we did that, and it was great fun. Very boring, but great fun because you're in the dark most of the time.
Yeah. Right.
Working off the
Because the Oxbury is the thing they use for animation.
yeah,
back
the
then.
aerial image Oxbury. You did titling with it and
Yeah.
stuff like
It
that.
was a huge camera, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you had BiPAC in it and everything.
Yeah.
And the weirdest thing was when I did directing for about 3 years for a commercial company, and I wanted a show reel, and I went to this editor friend of mine. I said, "Can you do me a show reel?" And it was on computers night. And now when I did titling, it used to take me a week.
Yeah.
And that's like getting
You're saying the
colour.
directing you're talking about now, more recently.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
When I did titling then. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
when I did directing.
Yeah.
When I did the titling then, in those days, when I was a kid, it used to take me a week.
Yeah.
And because you had to do the colour right.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you had to do colour test cyan 20,
Oh my gosh, I can't
cyan
imagine.
25, cyan 15, cyan, you know. If you've ever done a colour test on a thing,
Oh, yeah,
and it
yeah.
drove you mad. And so you had to get the colour right. And then you'd put all the colour charts up, and the guy would come along and with his little eyepiece and go, right, we'll have that one, which is magenta 15, cyan 20, you know. And it's like,
Wow.
oh, it's such a thing. And then you got that. Then you BiPAC'd it. So you put the black, you did a matte, moving matte on it, whatever.
Okay.
And you BiPAC'd it. So you put the black lettering, you shot the lettering, the white lettering coming up, you know, on a blacks, and you reverse it, so you get the neg, so you get these internegs.
Yeah.
So you had that black, and then you'd burn that onto the film.
Oh wow. Okay.
And by that time, when you got that right, you then that would be a week,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so it'd be a week to do a titling. And when I did this sort of directing thing, and I wanted a little bit of a show reel, I said, right, can you do this for me? He went, yeah, what do you want? And I said, this, and he said, what do you want? Do you want rolling titling, or do you want it to just come on side to side or whatever? And I said, I'll just do normal, just let it roll up and all that. I went,
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
5 minutes. And I went, what, is that it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And he
It's
went,
changed
wait,
a little
yeah, that's
bit.
it. And I went, Jesus Christ. It used to take me a week.
But the difference being, by the way, that there weren't many people who could do what you did back then, who
No.
knew how to do it, and now anybody who buys a computer can.
Well,
do
yeah,
it.
I can do it.
Yeah,
I can do it
exactly.
myself now.
That's exactly
at home,
right.
which is great.
So, it's amazing.
So anyway, I did all that, and then they did stuff like, you know, they allowed us to light pack shots, because what Les did, this is where the luckiest bit of my life came in.
You said like what? Like pack shots? What are pack
Yeah,
shots?
you know, well, in commercials,
Yeah.
at the end of the commercial, you have a pack shot.
But like the product shot.
Yeah, product
Oh
shot,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Okay,
Sorry,
gotcha.
pack.
Yeah.
Product shot. Sorry,
Yeah,
different
no, that's right. But
language.
like a still life of whatever
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, product shot.
And I used to shoot that when I was like, I'm like 18
when
years
you
old.
were the runner, basically,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
would have you do.
I was 18 years old because they were out doing other things.
That's
They didn't-
great.
And they used to say, right, put a light up there. And I learned to sort of do basic lighting.
Yeah, sure.
Backlight, 2 lights, you know, a stronger light one side and a weaker light the other.
fantastic.
Basically, and that's all we did. Or a reflective light one side and a hard light on the other, depending on what it was or where we were.
Yeah.
So, you know, this is the start. I can't tell you how lucky I was in those days.
Did you realize it at the time, or was
Of course
it just
not.
no?
No,
Of course not.
I was a youngster. I didn't care. I was just wondering what pub to go to that
Yeah,
night.
exactly. Is it Friday yet? Yeah. Okay.
And anyway, but then the biggest luck was being in Soho and so near, and having Les do all the product shots for all the companies that were doing all the filming.
Yeah.
It was the start of RSA, Ridley Scott, and Ridley was the first one, and his brother Tony came in. They never done anything before, and then I got to know them. Tony Cuthbert was the main animator in those days for anything film, and then the guy that did the Bear, Follow the Bear, Richard Williams.
Richard Williams. Okay.
Richard Williams was the animator, and he became like such a big name, and that was all in Soho.
Yeah.
And all these people, Moving Picture Company was
Oh,
just
wow.
was just a little
Yeah.
studio, and Dennis Abbey had just started as a director, And we met him. You know, I met all these people I met at the starting of their careers, and
Yeah.
they became big people.
That's
And,
incredible.
my life followed them.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
I then worked for RSA when I went loading, and I worked for Moving Picture Company and all that.
Uh-huh.
And now Moving Picture Company is underneath the whole of Wardour Street. It's like £1 billion operation.
Oh wow. Wow.
And it's it's just incredible to think I was there at the grassroots.
Yeah.
That's where the luck comes in.
You're in the right place at the right time.
Yeah. And then of course then Les said you need a union ticket, you know, because you're obviously going to go out.
So how did you get a union ticket back then?
Well, in those days, that's how I got onto the Aerial Oxford image camera.
Yeah.
Because they said we'll have you as an assistant Aerial Oxford image cameraman.
Yeah.
And so I went to a guy called Bill Burrows at the ACTT, Association of Camera Technicians and Television Technicians,
Okay.
which was the union in those days.
Oh, okay.
And I went to see this guy called Bill Burrows, and I said, you know, I need to get a ticket, right? Get your company to sign this out, and you've got to have a referee and all that. And,
Yeah.
and they said, yeah, we'll look after him for a year. This is a trainee scheme. He said, right, you now got a trainee's ticket. And I spent a year, and I said, right, I'm going out as a loader, and I got my full ticket.
Okay.
So now I'm allowed to work.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen nowadays. The union's gone, really. Have got a union, but it's not like it used to be.
You can
know?
work without being in the union
you can
now,
work
right?
without
But
being
back
in
then, no way. And
No way.
so you sort of, I mean, it sounds like I was going to say you lucked into it, but you were really smart about it, obviously. But if it wasn't that, it was basically like my father's in the union, so I get in the union.
Yeah,
Is
there's
that
a
pretty
huge
much
amount.
it?
There's a huge amount of nepotism
Yeah.
went on in those days. I mean, it probably still does. I mean,
Yeah.
my son's a grip now, so
Uh-huh.
I'm part of it now.
Yeah. But
you know,
that said, he could have gotten it if he wasn't. I mean,
Yeah.
you could get it off the street now. But that's so you were officially a clapper loader back then.
yeah. I got the term clapper loader then put onto me.
Yeah.
And now we go to the pubs, which I earlier referred to earlier. You had the Crown and Two, you had the Ship in Wardour Street, the Crown and Two in Dean Street, the Dog and Fox in Frith Street, and in Greek Street you had another pub, which I can't remember.
And these are the pubs where all the film technicians
All
would
the film
hang out.
technicians
This is-
went there, and
yeah.
depending on who you worked for in the film industry, you know, in the advertising industry,
Yeah.
if it was like, say, you won't know these films, but people, if you worked for Illustra, then you went to the Dog and Fox or the Crown and Two. If you worked for Delane Lee, you went to the Crown and Two or the Ship. If you did feature films, you went to the Ship in Wardour Street, and vice versa. Wherever the nearest company was.
And this was well known. I mean, people.
Oh
knew,
yeah.
Okay.
No, it was run on alcohol. The whole film
Yeah.
industry in those days, and it's like, you know, we used to go to these pubs to get work. You know, you'd see a focus puller or other people there. You know, there was names walking around.
But you
the
knew where to
street.
find them, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, yeah. Oh wow.
I mean, Harvey Harrison, who I did a lot of work with in later years when he was a cameraman, he was a focus cum operator then. And he had this long mop of curly black hair, and he was the man in commercials. And I remember seeing him walking down Wardour Street, and everyone going, "Oh, look, there's Harvey Harrison," because he was a big name in those
Yeah,
days. You know,
yeah.
as an operator, he was Alec Thompson,
Okay.
who's a noted cameraman
Yeah.
for various things. He was his operator,
Ah,
and of course,
okay.
I then worked for Alex later on as a loader.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, we did. I worked for Alex in commercials doing it, and he was a great man, absolutely fantastic cameraman, the nicest person you could ever meet.
Mm-hmm.
And in the end, I actually co-directed with his daughter, China,
Ah.
and that's where the directing bit comes in. But with Harvey and all that, and they used to go to the Ship, and the man that owned the Ship used to fund little films.
So the Ship was one of the pubs.
Yeah, in Wardour Street.
He used to fund like short films and stuff.
Yeah,
or-
yeah, he used to fund them. And he used to have this amazing safe upstairs that no one really asked him where he got his money from. I'm sure it wasn't a very good place. But his wife was called the Duchess because she always looked down her nose at everyone, because we were a bunch of Herberts in those days. And we called her the Duchess. She used to sit at the end of the bar with a bun and everything and be there with half-rimmed glasses, looking at us all in disgust. And
But perfectly happy that you're drinking
yeah,
your
yeah.
husband's
Oh,
pub,
yeah.
pub, by the way. Yeah.
And Harvey went in there one day and said, "Look, I'm trying to get funding for this film for the desert safari, you know, the race, the desert race, and we're going to shoot it." And he said, "Yeah, how much do you need?" And he went up there, signed the form, saying, "Right, you pay me this back." And he went, "Boom,
Boom.
there you go, and that's the interest you owe me as well." And off Harvey went, did the job, came back, paid the money. Thank you very much.
Wow.
And I'm sure the ship in Wardour Street funded a huge amount of
Yeah, it sounds like it.
films. I mean, it was great. But anyway, so I'm in the pub one night, and in the ship, and a guy called John Dean came in. I knew him from the commercials I'd done with him. I said, "Oh, John, we had a drink together," and he said, "What are you doing on Monday?" And I said, "Well, nothing really." And he said, "Do you fancy doing a week's testing? You know, testing cameras for a film we're going to be starting."
Yeah.
And I went, yeah, sure. And off we went. We went to Samuelson's in Cricklewood, using the PVSRs, which, like, in those days, they were the creme.
That was it.
If you worked on a film that was using a PVSR or a Panaflex camera,
That was a big movie. Yeah.
it was a big movie, and you could do anything you like. Everything fitted. It was you put it on your shoulder, using everything. It was a fantastic camera. And I did a week there, and he liked, working with me. He said, "What are you doing next week?" And I said, "Well, I'm off. I'm off. I'm not doing anything." He said, "Do you fancy coming with us to Holland to do this film?" I went, "Yeah, sure. Bridge too far."
And all this because you were having a drink at the pub.
All this because I'm having a drink
Oh,
with the
that's
pub.
fantastic.
And off I go to do Bridge Too Far, and I did the second unit with him.
You were the clapper loader on it.
I was a
With
clapper
it.
loader
Yeah,
on Bridge
yeah.
Too Far,
Wow.
and I worked with Harry Waxman.
Wow. How old were you?
21 then.
I mean, that must have blown your mind. You're going to Holland and there. And,
Yeah, I'd never been away before.
Wow.
21 years old, never been out of London,
Amazing.
and there I am in Holland for 6 months.
6 months.
Yeah,
Of
working-
a second unit.
Yeah, working on this film, and I don't have to tell you the cast list of.
Yeah,
all these people. Robert Redford, I fell in love with because he was a fantastic bloke, not a star as you would think.
No, just
when we did the Nijmegen crossing, he was actually jumping in the water to pull the boat in with everyone there. We're sitting inside the boat. He's pulling us in because we can't get wet, obviously.
Yeah.
And, he didn't even think twice about doing that.
So, but even though you're doing second unit, you were still working with the main.
Yeah,
main
well,
actors.
on the bigger things, like the Nijmegen crossing, the parachute drop, and the bombing of the Panzer Division, which were quite big things. That was done by the whole crew.
So
Everyone
they
got
brought
together.
both units together,
Yeah.
basically. Wow.
And
That's amazing.
it was a big number. I didn't realise how big it was. When we did the Nijmegen crossing, the explosives were so good. It was like being in a real war.
Wow.
Because I had to change the mags while it was going on. And I was diving on the floor and these explosions were going off. I'm so glad they couldn't see me. I was petrified most of the time doing that. But we got it all done. You didn't really think about it. It was just so much fun. And there was 8 sticks of dynamite in a pot with a bag of concrete and another bag of
That's
broken...
how they did things back then.
Yeah,
though.
and another bag of broken cork. And I mean, for the blanket bombing of the field that was next to the Panzer Division, I was looking after Harry Waxman, who was a cameraman. And they said, right, put a blanket over him because we were going to be covered in crap. And just hold on to him so, nothing happens. If anything, goes wrong, pull him out the way.
So you were the safety for him.
Yeah, I was a safety for him. Because we were running in those days, we ran 6 cameras each. There was 2 loaders.
Yeah.
And we all had 6 cameras to look after. Wow. On the big days, and the other days we had a camera each, so it wasn't so bad. So the 36 explosions down this field, blanket bombing like that, all had, as I said, 8 sticks of dynamite, bag of concrete.
Oh my God.
Richardson was the man that was doing the special effects. Absolutely fantastic special effects man. Been
Are most
going
of
for
these
years.
effects guys like guys from the war who had done explosives in the war, and that's how they had learned, or something?
I don't know how John. His father was a special effects man. I think he learned off of him first.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But he was, by that time, he was a known special effects guy. So this film was just great for him.
Amazing.
It was superb. Anyway, all these 36, bang, 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 all the way down the field. And then all of a sudden, I've never seen it before, it put so much crap into the air,
yeah.
it went like that. It cut the whole light out from
Oh
the
my
sun.
gosh! Because
I've never-
there was
it-
so much debris in the air.
It just cut. It went black, and I was holding onto Harry by his back,
Yeah.
and I was sitting there thinking, oh Jesus, I've been hit. I can't see.
Oh, I've gone blind.
Yeah, I've gone blind. And I could hear all the special effects guys, obviously knew what was going on, giggling behind me. and I could feel Harry Waxman, who was desperately trying to get up because he'd gone black. And he's desperately trying, and I'm holding him down in shock because I'm like that. I got the biggest bollocking of my life.
Because you didn't let him up when he was ready to get up. That's wild.
When he got up, I
my
got
gosh.
told off like you wouldn't believe.
Wow, that's amazing.
But it's so funny. But that was how realistic the explosions were.
What an
on
incredible
those
thing to
days.
be thrown into right off the bat. So that was your first big movie that you were
Yeah,
on?
my very first big movie.
Wow.
I'd done bits and pieces on Rollerball, but nothing much. And Space 1999 came first,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I did TV, and this is my next hit. And then when we did the drops, and we did the parachuters coming out the aircraft.
Yeah.
I mean, we had the biggest collection of Dakotas since the war. So even that was I realised that myself.
Wait,
as a
Dakotas are the planes, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
kid. Biggest collection since the war. I mean, it's amazing to see. And we had to go through NATO to drop the Parazing because we were in a NATO airfield.
Wow.
And of course, we had 13 cameras each in those days, and we were given a VW Caravanette, which you stripped everything out of, and just had the two mag cases, 1,000-foot mag cases,
Yeah.
for all the the SRs and the Ares and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
PVSRs and then the Panavision, the Panaflex stuff we had as well. So we had all these things stuck in there, and we had our own lorry as a dark room. So we had 2 dark rooms made at the back for us.
But just 2 loaders?
Just 2 loaders
For all those cameras?
for all those cameras.
Wow.
And we had a van, and we'd because you had a lot of time between drops,
Yeah, I'm sure.
and each camera had 2 mags, 2,000 feet to drop. So they did the actual coming out the aircraft.
Yeah.
Then they waited a little bit, did a bit in the air. Then waited a little bit and did all the landings.
Oh, but so they'd run the camera when they were up top, turn it off, wait a little. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
wait until they got some interesting
Yeah.
stuff, and then that was then superimposed on the.
Sure.
So you saw thousands instead of like just
Yeah,
12.
Yeah.
And then so we had them at different points in this field, and so we had this thing. We both had 2 vans, one each, with 12 sets of mags in. And I used to go around to the camera, throw the box out. They give us another box. We'd go back, and by the time the soldiers had got down and then walked off, we'd load it all and then put it back into the van, and off we go again.
Wow.
But it sounds like a lot, but it wasn't. It's fairly simple.
Yeah,
You didn't have much work to do. It was just the actual getting it together.
Yeah, exactly. Once you figure it out, it's sort of just.
And if you know what I mean when I say doing the camera sheets was really easy because it roll
Yeah,
one take.
exactly.
So
yeah.
it's like you just.
Yeah.
And we did all that. And in those days, when I mentioned this, the camera crew, because we all went back in the same van, when you finished your day's work, you literally, when they said that's a wrap, they'd expect you to finish loading all the cameras. So it's all done. And you were just doing the last line on your camera sheets. If you were any later than that, you were
That was
berated.
because they wanted to go.
Yeah, you were berated like you wouldn't believe. It's like, you useless git. And it's like, Jesus Christ, after all the things you do, getting the lunch together, getting this, getting that.
Doesn't make a difference. You're
Doesn't
only
make
as good as your last thing.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what someone said. Always remember the first day and the last day.
Yep.
Because that's all other people would remember.
That's true. There's some truth.
Doesn't matter
to
what
that.
you do in the middle.
Yeah.
If your last day is your worst day, they turn around and say, oof,
That's
Tony
what'll
wasn't so
stick
clever.
Wow, that's incredible. So you were on there for 6 months. That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah, we did round Holland, then we were in London as well, around London.
And I'm listening to you talk about like the dynamite and the number of planes and the NATO and whatever. Never again. Now it'll just be now just be
Never
digital.
again. Well, I think in those days, if I can remember rightly, because after that I went on to Superman.
The first one.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
With Jeffrey Unsworth, because he did the first unit,
Okay.
and then I went straight from that to doing Superman. Well, we did the tests first for a couple of years, for a year rather, to get the flying right. But then when the film started, I went on second unit with Alex Thompson. And Jeff Unsworth was shooting the front, so it was virtually the same crew, apart from the cameraman. I've forgotten my thread on that one. Where was I going?
I don't know. You're talking about Superman, but so let me ask you a question. it sounds like you kind of got in with a group and you sort of stayed with that group. It just went from job to job to job.
Yeah, in a way. I mean, a lot of people did. For some unusual reason, I didn't. I roamed about a bit because I quite liked companies. I was in with a few directors. And
Okay.
I used to do commercials a bit more than features in those days, and I like the freedom of being with other people. So I did have a permanent crew, which was at that time was Johnny Deaton, and but I then moved around. I mean, I had another permanent crew, which was Alan Hume's crew,
Oh, okay.
and I also had and then I went on with Frank Elliott, which was another crew, which was Jack Cardiff.
Jack Cardiff you worked with.
Yeah, I
Wow.
worked with Jack for quite a bit.
That's
as
a
well.
well-known name.
Yeah. Well, the cameramen I worked with were Jack Cardiff, Chris Chalice, Alan Hume.
Is Alan Hume related to Martin Hume?
Yeah,
His
it's
father?
his father.
Oh, okay.
And Simon Hume.
And Simon Hume is
Yeah,
Martin's son. Okay.
No, they're
Oh.
brothers.
Oh, Simon and Martin are brothers. I don't.
yeah.
Okay, I haven't met either of them yet. So, okay, gotcha.
So
But
Alan Hume.
those are big names there. That's amazing.
And where else was I?
You work with a lot of these people as a clapper loader, or
Yeah. As clapper loader, then on to going on to Focus and all that.
and when you were a clapper loader, did people want to help you move up, or did they want to keep you as a clapper loader because you,
Well, a
you
lot
did
of
your
time,
job
they
well?
wanted to keep us a clapper, especially
Yeah.
if you were good.
Yeah, well, that's what if you got the tea right and the sandwiches right and all
That's
that.
right.
Yeah.
But also it's like Dead Man's Shoes, you know.
What's
you,
that?
Well, you didn't move up until someone moved off the
Oh,
crew.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. We there's an opening, and that's
Yeah.
the only way it's going
And
to
that's
happen.
it. You know, they may want to go off and do something else, or they've moved up themselves, and you move up into
Yeah.
their place.
Understood.
And because I was ducking and diving out of crews, because
Yeah.
I quite like not being in a crew because it was too uniform for me
Mm-hmm.
in my life. I met lots of people, but it was great because I met lots of ways of working and stuff.
That's great. Yeah.
There are crews I didn't want to work with because there were some hard crews out there. But someone say, "Oh, don't want to work for those."
Work
You
for
know,
them. But
they're hard work.
what was what you were when you talk about bopping from crew to crew, was that not normal though? Did most people stay with the same crew most of the time?
Well, yeah, they did.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't normal at my level to
That's what I'm saying.
jump around,
to
bop around. I mean, it may be, we were talking about things I wish I'd done differently.
Yeah.
This is one of them. I wish I hadn't have bopped around a bit. But then I was really happy to meet the people I met. I
Sure.
wouldn't have met some of the people I worked with.
Yeah.
I worked with everyone in the end, not as like a B camera or an additional camera. I came in to work with the crew,
Yeah, yeah.
and I loved it. It was
Yeah.
great, and all these different styles. And it's weird. In the days, if you did adverts, you looked down upon by the guys that did the films. And if you did adverts, you wouldn't let the film guys come anywhere near you.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, oh, no,
Everybody's better than everybody
yeah,
else.
yeah. It was really funny. You had this hierarchy that was like
Sure.
mental.
Did as the clapper loader, did you interact with these actors much? I mean,
Yeah, as I put the board on,
Yeah.
you chatted to them.
Yeah,
But it's like
yeah.
it was already very much sir this and sir that. I mean, I had a great repartee with Betty Davis. She did a thing which I did with Alan Hume called Watches in the Wood,
okay.
and as a Disney film. And she turned up, and she was a lovely lady. And I'm allergic to bites, or I was then. I'm not so much now. And I got a bite.
To mites? Oh,
Yeah,
the
mites,
little- yeah, okay.
gnats and all that.
Yeah.
And I had a bite, and I had this red line going up here.
Oh, up your arm. Okay.
And I was putting the board on like that, and she went, "Wait a minute, stop. What's that?" And I said, "Oh, I'm allergic to bites. I just got bitten." And
Yeah.
yeah, not that. I've seen if it goes to your armpit, that's really serious. And she took me away, and she said, "You've got to go to hospital." And she said, "I'm not coming onto camera until that bite gets looked after."
Oh,
And
that's so sweet.
which was fantastic.
Yeah.
And of course, as you full well know, the film industry,
Yeah.
they took me out of her sight, got her back on the camera, and said,
Yeah.
just sit in the medic's tent for a couple of minutes, and then
Come back in 5 minutes. We need you. Yeah, but her heart was in the right
Yeah,
place.
yeah, and I didn't want to go
that's
to
really
hospital.
sweet.
I didn't want to go to hospital. It's like Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
the bite.
Yeah.
But
still.
anyway, and she was really lovely to me,
Oh,
and
that's
she
really
was a
nice.
really nice lady. And so the fact that we were playing American football, would you believe, with a soft ball in the field, throwing it to each other. And she came out of a caravan and we threw it and it hit her in the back of the head.
Oh, jeez.
And she was quite, she hated the production, the production office.
Okay.
So anyone in the production office, she used to shout and scream at.
She had, I mean, there's a reputation there of her being a tough lady. So that's why it's interesting to hear this.
But for the crews and everything, she was a sweetheart.
That's so
She
wonderful.
absolutely loved us. And she threw it and everyone went, and she didn't know. And we're all looking the other way. And
We didn't do anything.
She just turned around and went, I know who it was.
And then walked off. She was okay with it?
Yeah, that was it. It was good.
That's
But
great.
she never did us any harm at all.
Oh, that's lovely.
They were
That's
great
so nice
pals.
to hear. Yeah.
But with camera crew, as especially with operators, you pick up repartee with the with the acting crew, and they become to trusting. They come to trust you because you're nowadays. It was you were the god because no one had video in those days, and you were the only one that could see what was being shot.
Yeah, they relied on you.
And that was at the start of my career, believe it or not. It's still there. They had rough video, but it wasn't very good.
You couldn't tell enough, right?
And they used to say, "What was that any good, Tony?" He goes, yeah, it's great. And you controlled what was being shot. Nowadays, it's mostly the cameraman.
Yeah.
And he tells you what you want to shoot. And I call myself an embellisher now because I embellish
true.
what he does. He says, with this shot, right, I want to go from there till they come from the door, they go out that door. And he may say, I want to put a track there. And you think, maybe it'd be better if we just do it diagonally.
Yeah.
And he looks at me and goes, good point there.
Yep.
And so I actually work with him and the director, and I embellish whatever they want me to do.
Sure.
Sometimes you get to talk about how you want to shoot something, and it's a group thing now.
Yeah, no,
But
agreed.
it's mostly coming from the director and the cameraman.
Yeah.
And so, my life has changed, from being like, it used to be quite stroppy, not stroppy, but, what you said was, this is what we're doing, this is how we're doing
Yep.
it. Bang.
And you didn't move on until the camera operator said it was okay.
Yeah. And they you say, so is that, so you had a certain bit of power. Didn't last very long, I've got to tell you, with me. Because that was the end of the era.
But you get a taste of it.
And then, I got a little taste of it. But then it came in. But then I didn't mind that. You just have to go with the flow. You have to go, that was what, let's say that's what my father did. Mm-hmm. But now this is what I've got to do because this is what my children are going to be doing, if not better.
Absolutely.
So you move with it. Styles move. Like in those days, the camera very rarely moved too much. You'd be here on an 18mm for a wide shot.
Yep.
Then you go there
Yep.
for a 50. Then you go even closer you stay here. 50, go closer, and then 75, closer still.
Yep.
And the only trick I learned of an operator said, move to the side. And it looks like a different...
Oh.
Because it moves the background.
Yeah.
And that was his idea of I always remember that, and I thought, well, wouldn't it be better just to get a nice shot?
Get a better shot,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
No, you just moved it.
And you had guys that used to sit in one place on position on the camera and just do that on the dolly.
Just straight in on the axis.
And nowadays you're looking at stuff like... The lenses are different as well.
No.
But nowadays you're looking at 35s because you want to see the background as well as a person.
Yeah.
And in those days, we were worried about people getting big noses or like the face being elongated. Yeah. So we used to go tighter. And if you went too tight, they went too thin.
Yeah.
And if you went too wide, as you know, you end up with a comedic face. But nowadays, I'm in there on a 35. And usually we go in, we move around.
Yeah.
And we find interesting shots to...
Yeah, it's definitely changed a lot. There's
Yeah.
no question about that. So how long were you a clapper loader before you went to second AC and first AC? And
I'd say I was about 10 years.
10 years as a clapper loader.
10 to 12
And then how
years.
long is a second AC?
As a second AC, I probably did about... again, about 9 years or so.
Now, the first Star Wars movie you did, Empire, you were a clapper loader on?
Yeah.
And that was, Kelvin was the operator, Kelvin Pike?
Alex, I was on the second unit.
Oh, you're on the second unit.
So it's
Okay,
Alex
gotcha.
Mills.
Okay.
I've actually got a picture on my staircase of me on that.
Oh, yeah? Well, I'll have to take a picture before I leave.
Yeah, have a look.
So where did
I
you
can
go
put it
out?
on your phone, actually.
Yeah. Did you go out to, where
Well, we were in the studios most of the time.
Oh, you're mostly in the
doing stuff, yeah.
studios. Okay. Was that a fun thing to work on?
Yeah, no, it was fantastic. And not only that, I mean, I can't remember what age I was then. I was probably going into about 22, 23 or something. I can't remember. And I remember going to the crew showing. And just, I wanted to be a Jedi Knight.
I saw Star Wars and I
it's
wanted
like-
to be a Jedi Knight.
Yeah,
There's no
I mean, I
question.
just couldn't believe it. I was totally enthralled by everything, and the famous, titling at the front of the
Oh,
film,
yeah,
and that
yeah.
noise and all that, and it was the best thing ever.
What a cool thing to be a part of,
Yeah,
right?
and then all of a sudden now it's been part of my life,
oh yeah, well,
my whole life as an operator
yeah.
or in this business.
Well, like I said, you worked on 5, 6, 7,
yeah.
8.
So I started my career
Yeah.
on the Empire, and I finished my career on, I think, Acolyte was the last thing I did,
Oh, okay, Acolyte, yeah.
which is a TV series.
Yeah.
But then I did as you say, the last.
Yeah, you've done more.
Penultimate
than,
one.
Yeah, yeah. It's, so, because I was going to say, when they made Star Wars, it wasn't a thing because it was just another movie. Nobody knew.
Yeah.
But by the time they made Empire, that must have been like, this is a huge, huge movie, and because of how well Star Wars
It's
did.
really weird. I think you're in a sort of like a position of flux. Where you weren't sure whether you were big.
Yeah.
Or whether you were. I remember.
is that right? Okay.
I remember having chats with George Lucas. Sounds great, doesn't it? I was
Yeah.
having a chat.
Yeah, yeah.
As a loader, saying, right, we'll come over here, and he was doing a lot on the second unit with us. Just
Okay,
getting
I was going to ask
stuff.
because you didn't direct the first thing.
Yeah, just trying to get it all together because
Yeah.
he's very involved with what he does.
Sure.
Brilliant brain. It's like, I mean, there's a few people in this business where I'm so glad I've met. One of them was George Lucas because of the way he thinks and everything like that.
Yeah.
And the other two were the Wachowski brothers.
Oh, V for Vendetta?
Yeah. Well, I did two or three films with them.
Oh.
One was in Berlin, which was Ninja Assassin.
Oh, I don't know that movie. Okay. Yeah.
Then V for Vendetta.
Yeah.
And we were up for doing what was the last TV series they did? It was absolutely fantastic.
Sense8. Yes.
Sense8.
Yes.
And I
John
saw,
John Toll shot that, I think.
yeah. Harvey Harrison was did the other three films with them, and they wanted him to do this, but he wanted to retire. He didn't want to go around the world, and so.
Didn't want to go
But
around.
they probably. I think John Toll was always going to do it, but Harvey was going to be involved with it as well. Either doing second unit or whatever.
Yeah.
And he just didn't want to, he was getting old and getting on at that time. And, and I was so upset, you know, when your heart just sinks, you think,
Yeah.
I
You're looking
really,
forward to
really
that one.
wanted
Yeah,
to do
yeah.
that.
So they're just
I
because
loved
of-
working with their brains.
Well, I mean, the thing is to come up with something like The Matrix, and actually the thing that impresses me even more than The Matrix, people haven't seen it, is Bound, which was their first movie. It's such a brilliant movie. I mean, it's a very different movie than The
but
Matrix.
the way their brain thinks,
Yeah.
the way they work, the knowledge of the post.
Uh-huh.
And we were just like thinking about, we wanted to be on his right hand side, but the way it's cut, we've got to go into this room on his left hand side, and then you get involved in that as an operator. Say, well, go in on a steady cam, and as he goes through the door, you cross him,
Find it through there, yeah.
and you come in on the right hand side, and you say, well, yeah, wait a minute, let's get that. You want to do that, and they both go off, and they come back and go, yeah, that's great. And they then, because then they've worked out exactly what's going to happen in that room
Everything else
from
yeah.
that side.
Yeah, from
Because
that.
they are actually thinking, how can we get out of this? We've got to go to the left. And that's showing nothing in the room. They want to show the room. And it's like, da-da-da-da. And just a little simple thing like that, which operators do, you know.
Sure, yeah.
And more so, or sometimes more so, Steadicam operators.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you, what year did you get into Steadicam?
Well, I Malcolm McIntosh did the Disney film that I was talking about with Betty Davis,
Okay.
and he did the Steadicam on that, and I got interested in it. And after that, I started to go up, and I did a load of Steadicam stuff with him, and then
As an assistant.
as an assistant,
okay.
as a focus puller.
Yeah.
And I thought, and then I started to think, well, I've got to go operating, and I think I went after Supergirl. I think I went, and I just thought, well, I'm going to be an operator, so I've got to learn to operate.
Yeah.
So not only did I Steadicam, I did underwater and I did aerial,
Oh, wow.
I did the lot.
Yeah.
and then there's things I found out that, like aerial, didn't last too long because of the helicopters, and
Yeah.
I had a near go on one, and I thought, well, that's someone telling me to
Yeah.
cut that angle off, and
Smart.
and then also with underwater, it became a business, and it's like in those days it was like I just done a kit on, just you get all this kit together so you know the kit,
Yeah.
and you just go under it. And all of a sudden, you've got insurance companies saying, well, you've got to be a stage 2 business.
Oh, okay.
You've got to
Because
do
it's a much
that.
bigger deal to do it.
Yeah, and it costs a lot of money to do the diving, because you had to do it properly.
Yep.
Which I understand is health and
Yeah,
safety.
sure.
In our
You don't want to
days,
deal with it. Yeah.
And I thought, well, I don't need to do that. I really don't. For the amount of times I was using it,
Yeah.
there's no need. I still like doing a bit of aerial, but there's no need for me to do that now with drones and all that. It all
Yeah,
disappears.
yeah, absolutely.
Life moves on. It's like, with Steadicam, I think Steadicam is coming to its
We'll see.
maybe
we've
to
all
its
thought
end.
it was coming to it. We all thought like it was
Yeah.
the ending, and it never seemed. It always seems to come back. It's
But
an
now I'm
interesting
thinking of
thing.
stuff, like you've got the Ronin, you've got all these
the
little.
Stable Eye, which I
the
just saw,
Stable
which
Eye.
is unbelievable.
I mean, all these fantastic little things
Yeah,
that are coming up,
yeah.
and really, Steadicam, you walk and talk, and that's what it is.
Yeah, yeah,
But now, depending on where you got, sometimes you have to use a Steadicam
Yeah.
because of the size of it.
yeah. Sure.
But I mean,
There's other ways to do things now. There's no question
yeah,
about
much
it.
more other ways, and also with the Steadicam, if you're doing a long walk, you're like saying, well, give me a few minutes this and a few minutes that. And I always say to people, I've got a rickshaw, and sometimes I work off the rickshaw
Yep,
quite
yep,
a bit.
Yep.
And I say, well, you know what your days were like on
Yeah.
on the hospital film.
Yeah,
you
in
did.
ER. Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
you get tired.
You get tired. I didn't get as tired then as I get now.
Well,
It's
yeah,
25 years ago.
Life goes
It's a lot
on.
better.
Yeah, life goes on. But then, with these things that you got now,
Yeah.
you say to them, well, you can do that, which
Yep.
I'm quite happy to do.
Yep.
But if you're going to do 20 takes and we're going to do them all different sizes,
That's exactly.
this is the way to go because I'll do it within minutes.
Yep. Yep. When did you make the jump to camera operating?
I think after Supergirl, I decided, and this is what all the kids have got to think of now.
Yeah.
I've known some brilliant technicians in my life, and I hope that as a technician, I can be called one of them, as a focus
Yeah.
puller and all that. I learnt my trade quite well. And so I was a good loader, I was a good focus puller. But these are all technical sides,
Sure.
It's technical because you've got to learn. You've got to learn about the lenses, and you've got to, and this is what you do as you go up in your life, in your career,
Yeah.
from focus to loading. I mean, loading, you get to learn about the floor, you get to learn about how to treat actors, you get to learn about, in those days, we were doing the ups and downs on dollies,
Yeah.
the lifts,
Yeah.
and I was doing the zooms, and the zooms gave me an insight on how to focus.
Yeah. Yeah. You were doing the zooms yourself.
Yeah. it was my job to do the zooms as a loader,
Yeah.
and do them by hand.
Oh, really?
So
No.
as you got someone walking towards you,
okay.
So you got the speed of his walks, which then in turn taught you how to focus.
Sure. Yeah.
And then you had the focus puller telling you, this is how I put down this small amount of marks.
Yep.
You do natural ones if you're doing a wide angle and all that, and da-da-da. And they teach you these little things.
Yeah.
This is what you learn as a loader. Then you go up to focus. It's still technical, so you're great. You know about the lenses. Mm-hmm. Now, this is where it starts becoming a little bit more tasty, because then you learn why from the operator, because you talk to people, you learn how to do the handles, which is a bugbear to most operators, because every time you want to do something, you've got this hairy ass hanging off the end of your handles, going
Over
up,
the
down,
wheels,
left, right,
yeah.
up, down, left, right,
Yeah.
and getting the handles together, which we used to do. He said, get off the handles, and then you get a slap around the back of the head. I'm just trying to do this shot. You know what it's like. You've obviously
That's
done
hilarious.
it. And so, you're always in everyone's way. But then, you had these moments with operators, and it's like, why did you use the 50? Well, because it contains, and we want to show his emotions. So
Yeah.
we want to keep the background soft, so it's just him, you see, and nothing else. And, all stuff like that. So you learn about lenses. You learn about the property of the
You're
lenses.
just talking about it's the point where it becomes more of an artistic thing as opposed to just a technical thing,
This
right?
is roughly where I'm getting.
Yeah.
So it's still technical. So you're learning all the technical
Sure.
science. What's in focus, what's out of focus, what stops you want to actually get a two-shot together, and all that rubbish.
Yeah.
And then my biggest worry was I learned to do the handles at an early age, so I wasn't too worried about that.
Yeah.
And it's strange. I try and relate to people and say I move my eyes and my hands move, and that's how I look at it.
Do you ever? How long have you been working? We call them the wheels, but how long have you been working on the handles or the wheels?
Since day one.
Which is what 30, 40
Yeah,
years,
30,
something
40,
like that.
30, 40
So let
years,
me ask
yeah.
you a question because I do this. Do you ever get on there, you've rehearsed the shot, you've done whatever, and at the last minute you look down and you actually aren't quite sure which way to turn it? Because the thing is,
this comes to a thing on I was talking about with Skyfall.
yeah, okay.
But
Yeah.
I do twitch.
Yeah, but
I
the
do
thing is,
twitch.
I don't know about you, but I know that
You know when you're
if
there,
I
you
think
go-
about it, I'm screwed. But if I forget about it, it'll go the right way.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Before every shot or before most
It's
shots.
amazing.
I do that.
Yeah. You just turn it a little bit to make
It's
sure
that.
you're the right way. Yeah,
It's that.
and it's
All
incredible.
I know is you won't be able to see this, everyone, but
Yeah.
well, I'll explain it to you. Up and to the right.
Up and to the right.
Up and right.
Oh, you have a way of remembering which way it
That's
is.
it.
Yeah.
Every time I get on a remote head, if someone's fixed the head up before I get there,
Yeah.
I do that and go, you got it the wrong way around.
Yeah. So basically, you take your hands and you push them from the center out,
Yeah, that's
and
it,
it's
that.
up and to the right. Oh, I see. That's
Up and right.
interesting. Even so, I'll still always go. I wonder which way. But it always goes the right way as long as I stop
yeah.
thinking. As long as I stop.
You
thinking
should never
about
ever
it.
think about what your hands
If
do.
you think
That's
about it,
why I
you're
tell
screwed.
people I follow my eyes.
Yeah.
And it's like if you do that,
Yeah.
my hands do it automatically.
Yeah. It just happens. It's
And that's
so-
what I do through the camera.
And-
And so
and
I'm not
almost-
doing that.
And almost
I just-
everybody says the same thing. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, I forget all the time. And I tell younger operators that because I think they berate themselves when they forget. And I go, no, we all forget.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
It's those jobs where it's purely on instinct and
Yeah.
how fast you get there. You know your reaction
yeah.
time, because you really when you're doing stunt shots, it really is like that.
You just got to turn it really quick and just go. And
you just-
you can't.
you don't
if you
have
think
time.
about it, you don't have time.
You don't
Yeah.
think about it, and that's
You
where
react.
it's a reaction.
Yep.
And over all these years, my reactions are there.
Yeah.
You know, you
they
just
have
don't-
to be, or else you wouldn't still be doing it.
Yeah, you don't forget it.
But you did bring that up. You told me earlier. You said there was something about working on Skyfall and the pressure of
Skyfall.
getting the
Now,
shot.
the pressure, I mean, everyone says, oh, what a fantastic job you've got and all that.
Sometimes
and I've
it
got
is.
to tell you, being an operator is a fantastic job.
Yeah.
You get to do everything. It's just superb. You know, the actors talk to you because you're like, once the director leaves to go back to his screen and the cameraman goes back to his tent to check the colour out and the lighting, you're on your own, and so are they. And sometimes they're just as nervous as you are, and they turn around and say, so what are you seeing? And you'd say to them, I'm here.
Yeah.
That's all I do to them.
Show
I'm
'em
here,
what-
I'm
yeah,
there,
yeah.
or I'm there. So, you
Give them
know,
the frame size so they know where they're at. Yeah.
and so they know how much acting to give you and what to do, because you'll be exhausted if you did it 100% every time. Anyway, so you become their crutch.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, I mean, at times I've got off the camera after doing a shot and I've gone, perfect.
Perfect, yeah.
You nail on the head,
Yeah.
bang. And we don't have to do another one.
Yep.
It's, dialogue like that, that's it.
Yep.
And if they see me do that, they know
Yeah,
that they're there. They've got it, and they know I've looked after them.
Yeah.
Because we do look after each
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
And because you're actor, sometimes you say, "Can you just lean on your right because I just can't get this."
Well, and that's the other
Piece
thing
of
is like
kit.
then when you do need them for that, they're there for you because
Always.
you've been there for them. Yeah.
I mean, the actors. I mean, it was great. The last film I worked on, I had one actor. It was really sweet of him. They turned around and said, I was on A camera and we had a B camera, and they said to this guy, right, B camera over here, we're going to do the close-up. And he turned around and went, oh, do you mind if Tony does my close-up?
That's so great.
And you know how you just say,
Yeah.
I love that guy.
That's very nice. What a pat on the shoulder. That's fantastic. Yeah.
But it was like a 6-month project.
Yeah.
So we
But
all
they
got
get
to know
used
each
to
other
you,
really
yeah,
well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it is. It's a crutch, and
But
that's
so-
what's lovely about the job. But
The
anyway,
Skyfall,
the
yeah, that's right.
pressure.
Yeah.
The worst part of it is like on Skyfall. If you all remember the train crash halfway through the film, you see
Yeah, okay.
him go into the underground, and he goes deep into the underground into the sewage system, and all of a sudden the train comes through. Well, that shot where the train breaks through the roof and goes and hits the wall at the bottom.
Yeah.
London Transport didn't want us to do that because it involved a busy station. If you
Yeah,
notice,
yeah,
the
yeah,
station's
yeah,
busy, but
yeah.
the train was empty, and they would only let us do that shot if the train was empty, and no one got. It was obvious that no one got hurt.
Yeah.
Even to the fact, I think they had a bit where the train driver went, "I'm all right, don't worry about me," at the back of it.
Yeah.
And we started that at 8 o'clock in the morning on the Bond set, on the Bond stage at Pinewood.
Pinewood. Okay.
8 o'clock in the morning, there, and we start setting up. 13 cameras we set up, of which 2 were moving. And I had a young operator with me, and I said, well, look, you take the wide, because it was just a matter of just moving one handle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you'll be fine. Now, it was on a monorail system which gets taken out by post.
Yeah.
And so none of us have seen the speed of this train because it was built, it was a 6-month build to
Wow.
build this. And we can't see the train because it hasn't crashed through the wall yet. So we
Yeah.
don't even know how big the
So
train
you're
is.
guessing at all this.
So everything's
Those are the
guessing.
worst.
And so,
Yeah.
so he's I've got him on, I can't remember what it was, let's say a 25,
Yeah.
or an 18, whatever.
Yeah.
So he's got the whole, all he has to do is just twitch
Yeah,
it.
he's gonna get something no matter
he's
what.
going to get saved because they just wanted 2 moving cameras,
Yep.
and so we set up all the static ones, coming towards us, going away from us, side one, top one,
Yep.
every imaginable thing. And the reason why we do that is they don't use them all, but if one camera breaks or something goes wrong, and it's like on the house, we had 2 cameras drop pixels when they blew up the house.
Okay.
In Skyfall, when the whole house went up.
You dropped it, meaning there was a problem with the
Problem with 2 of the
recording.
cameras.
But you had how many other cameras?
But we
so,
had we had about 15 cameras
Exactly,
on it.
yeah.
We've had long, wide,
Yep.
short. We had a little bit of action with stuntmen and everything. And we set all those up. There's only 2 operators on that as well.
Yeah.
And we set all that up, and I set it up, and the crash was done with a virtually life-size model with the helicopter and all that. And so, you get all this, and it takes time to set up. So we set all these cameras up inside this tunnel. And then it comes to about, we've worked all day, gone for lunch, come back, carried on working. Special effects guys are still putting in explosives and all that.
Yeah.
And it's getting later in the day, and I think 5 o'clock. It's like, Jesus, we haven't shot anything, and it's 5 o'clock. And this is the film business thing, isn't it? You just, especially with operators, because we're like another like AD really.
Yeah.
You just want to
Yeah,
push
let's
it on.
just
so
keep
you get
going,
the
let's
shot.
just keep going,
Let's
yeah.
get the shots done.
Yeah.
Come on, like over here, you go over there.
Well,
do
the
that.
other thing is, I don't know about you, but I always look at it and I go, "There's only so much time. They're taking away time from me being able to do the shot well
Correct,
for
yeah.
something else. So I selfishly want more time to be able to do my
Well,
job
yeah, so you
well.
can get a nice, you
Because
get it,
otherwise everyone's going to go, all right, let's go, and you're,
Yeah.
right, we still have things to do,
then you just,
Yeah.
then you just knock it out.
Yep.
But anyway, we're getting all this, and it's getting to 5:30, and it's like, God. Then the afternoon tea comes up, and it's like still nothing.
That
shot.
has to happen.
And now I'm guilty. Now I'm thinking, oh God, why is it taking so long? Da, da, da. No one cares, but it's just what goes through you.
Yep.
Because it's such a dangerous shot, we have to be outside the stage. Have you ever been to the 007 stage?
No.
Massive, absolutely massive.
Yeah.
No space for us. We've had to go outside.
big, yeah.
So I'm in a tent outside with 2 electronic heads. Mm-hmm. So you've got 2 handles there. And it's getting on. We're coming up to 7:30. Right, boys, all the explosives done. Let's start clearing the stage. So everyone's getting off the stage. And you sit there, don't you? You fiddle. Right.
Yeah.
I've gone through my line. I'm on the tight one, so I'm virtually the size of the train going through. If you
But
see
you're still you're still guessing at the end of the day.
yeah, 'cause I don't know.
You're hoping, yeah.
And like I'm just going right. That's the end. I've got my end frame because we can only go so far. Otherwise, we see the wall of the stage.
Okay, so you know where
so
that is.
I know
okay.
where the stop
Yep.
is. So I'm arranging. Yeah.
Yep. Do
Yeah.
it over and over.
And you do,
Yep,
you just get
yeah,
it.
you get that muscle
imprinted.
memory.
Yeah, you get it imprinted in your head. Still don't know where it's going to start, where it's going to finish. You've got a rough idea where it's coming in.
Yep.
So right, then they start, and I'm doing the twitch now, left, right,
Yeah.
left, right,
Which way's up? Which
down,
way's down?
up, down,
Which way's up?
left, right,
Yep,
up,
yep,
down,
yep,
left,
yep.
right, up, down. And I suddenly think, Jesus Christ, this is the end of my career if I get it wrong.
That's the worst thing. And then you got to push that out of
And
your
it's
head,
like,
right?
yeah. Oh, yeah, that went out very quickly. But
Don't
you
think
do.
that, yeah.
You think that, you think, Jesus Christ, I've got to get this right.
Yeah.
And not only that, it's a 6-month rebuild and £1 million.
Oh my God.
It's a £1 million shot.
Because they're going to destroy everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a £1 million shot. All the build they had to do, 6 months, £1 million.
This is not what you want to be thinking right before you're about
this
to
is
do this. Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's like you're thinking, Jesus Christ, now the pressure's on.
Yeah.
Then the monorail starts. So it's right, turn over, all getting turned over.
And from your vantage point, can you see it? You can't see it
Nothing.
coming. You're looking at a
I'm-
blank wall that it's
I'm
coming
outside.
through.
I'm outside in a
Yeah,
black
yeah.
tent
So
with
you
a
got
screen.
nothing.
With a screen in front of me.
Yeah.
So I can see what I'm shooting.
Yep. But that's it.
Nothing else. I've got no visual where
So
because
you
usually
have no concept of when it's going to
usually
hit.
when you do these shots, you have a visual.
Like, that's why
you
I
have
asked,
you
yeah.
have a real visual over the top of your monitor.
Yep.
So you can see where everything is. And
Jeez.
I've got nothing. And then, as you know, as an operator, once that breaks, the train breaks through the wall, you don't start moving.
Yeah.
You've got to wait until it gets to there.
It's got to
Then you
move.
go with
It's got to come through the frame a little bit.
and then you stop.
So yeah.
And then you stop with it. So, and I still don't know what the speed is. Luckily enough, it wasn't going a million miles an hour.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I had no worries. But bang, we did it. One take. 8:30, 8 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock at night. One take. Thank you very much.
Yep.
See you tomorrow. And that was it. And
that was
after
it.
that, I went home, went to the pub, and I think the pub asked me to leave.
There you go. But you know, those shots are always so funny to me because there's so much buildup, and it's like 10 hours or 8 hours of setting and sitting around and this and that and the other, and then it happens like that.
Yeah.
And then you go home, and that's it. You know.
What did I do? What did I do?
Yeah, exactly. But obviously you got it. So
Yeah, so pleased. And bless him, the young guy just overshot a little bit.
Yeah.
And he went, oh, that's it. Oh, I've done it. I don't. And you go, no, it's fine.
They can zoom
No,
in.
I can. Don't worry about
Yeah,
it.
they'd be fine.
Don't worry about it. You can do so much.
Yeah. You've got places to go.
So you got the edge of the wall. You vignette it, or whatever. You know,
just they'll go in 10%.
So you know, sometimes it's not as much as a worry as you think it is, but you do get that point, and that's probably the most expensive shot I've done.
Yeah.
And the most worrying shot I've done.
It's well because of the expense and the time. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of pressure right there. But at least you got it when you were 30 some years in or whatever, and you've got all that to pull from, you know, and all those tricks and whatever.
Yeah, I love stuff like that. You know.
But I think that's a lot of what we do. Is a lot of it is sort of pushing out the nerves so that you can do your job, right? Not thinking about that stuff like that.
It's strange, you know. I do stuff at home with other bits and pieces with my friends. And I worry more about that, and I show more nerves.
You mean just like personal projects?
And I worry more about that, and I show more nerves at doing stuff like that than I do at work than I've ever done. You know, if you think, sometimes you look at me and you think I'm not really doing much, or but it just doesn't show. You know, you learn not to show it.
No, that's absolutely right. That's absolutely right.
Because you can't. I mean, you can't be confident to someone if you're bottling it.
Yeah.
And you've got to be confident, and you know that's
a huge part of it. Do you get nervous when you start a show?
Yeah.
What now has the nerve? I mean, when you first started, it was obviously, can I do the job? Which you can do. So what's the nerve? What are the nerves now? Like what makes you nervous before a show?
Well, no, you know, if I can do this, you know, can I make it good? And, you know, it's just the same usual stuff. You know, am I worthy of this and all that? You know,
Danny Bishop and I talk about imposter syndrome, where you get the call and you're doing the job and you're like, why are they calling me? Why am I doing this stuff? Even though you've done stuff. I mean, obviously there's a reason, but right, there's that thing of, and who am I working with?
Yeah, I know. It's like, it is strange. I do get nervous, and I get nervous on when we start a new scene, because it is just like, oh, how are we going to do this? You know, what can I do to make this better? Why? You know, I hope I don't do anything wrong. You know.
But I like what you were talking about before about embellishing, because I often, when I talk to students, I often tell them, you know, you can drive yourself crazy trying to make something perfect, because it's never, I mean, you never leave a shot and go, that was perfect. There's always something better you can do. But I always look at it as, look, sometimes they give you something that's terrible and you make it usable and good, and that's what your job is. As long as you take whatever they give you and make it better than what it was, I sort of feel like you've done your job, because you don't knock it out of the park all the time. Sometimes you do, but sometimes you don't.
Also, I had a young operator quite a few years ago now with us. I was young as well, strange enough. And he was digging a hole. He's got the director's viewfinder. He's digging a hole, looking down there. Then he's on a ladder, looking down. Then he's on his feet. Then he's moving over there. Then he's changing lenses. And I just went up to him. I said, "You do realise not every shot is going to be an Oscar winner.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to tell the story.
Yeah.
We're here to tell a story, and if it's just a close-up of someone's mouth,
that's what it says.
Moving.
The question doesn't tell the story. Not is it cool, not is it whatever. And the other part of that is I often talk about is if they're looking at the shot, you've done something wrong. You should never be thinking about the shot. You were talking about ER before, and our mutual friend Terrence Nightingale, who put us in touch. And I worked with George Clooney there, and sometimes these actors would come in and just do this huge over the top, this and that and the other, and he would turn around and go, sometimes you're just delivering the pizza.
Yeah.
That was his thing. Is like, you don't want to come in and go, here's the pizza. It's like, no, here's your pizza.
But do you know what I really love? And I had it, again, I'm talking about the last thing I did. I remember this young Israeli actor, and he was doing this scene. It was set in Poland, a Jewish family in Poland before, during and after the war.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, they were just being shipped out to go to war in the army. They were
Mm-hmm.
joining the Polish army. And they were all saying goodbyes, and you had the brother who was like very big, yeah, come on, follow me, we're going to do this, we're going to do it. And he went past, and he had another brother saying, yeah, joining him, and the brother-in-law came in. And I wasn't supposed to do a shot because we'd finished the day. And I just said, I'm just going to hunt around to Tim Ives, who was the cameraman, who did a fantastic job on this job. And we got on really well. And I said, Tim, I just want to shoot from up here because I got this guy close up. I was just the right height to see everyone go past him. Mm-hmm. And I got him about here. And he did this amazing look where you just saw his face go, what the shit have I done?
Yeah.
Where am I going? I'm going to die.
Yeah.
And I just captured that
Yeah.
in a close-up.
You caught a moment. Yeah.
And even Tim said, oh, Jesus, I was going to send you home as well. He said, I'm so glad you stopped me.
That's great. That's
and
great.
at moments like that, and you just think, it's so great as an operator. You just think, I got it.
Yeah.
I did another thing where the guy was going to his death. Well, you think he's going to his death, but you then meet him later on in the film. And it's just that moment, just that little look. And actors, there's some actors that can do it.
It's amazing. And I mean, I'm assuming that what you're talking about is that thing of when you have your eye on the eyepiece and something happens and it just affects you, and you realize this is a real, genuine moment that I've just, and it's not even I caught it. It's I happened to be here, and they at the right time with them. It's incredible.
But it's like on this film again, because it's closest. I mean, there was also when I was on Maleficent, Angelina Jolie did a look to us, and it just went straight through my body. It's like, what the?
Yeah.
Oh, and I said, I got it.
Yeah.
And it's just things like that. And people, Angelina Jolie, Brad Pitt's another one. They got these. They can get the camera.
Yeah.
And they eat it.
Yep.
And you get that look. And it's on this one. We had a German officer interrogating this woman. He'd already beaten her. And she got up and she said, why are you doing this? We're all humans, why are you doing this to me? And then we went into his face to hear. Mm-hmm. And he said, because you are a dirty Jew. And I had to turn to the camera and said, I can only do this once.
I can't do this. Wow. Because it was so
really
strong.
It's really affecting me.
That's amazing.
And
Wow.
we did it. We got it off. But it's amazing how it affects you.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm
absolutely.
quite
Yeah.
I don't get affected by anything.
Yeah. But sometimes it hits you.
That's the only time when I turned around and said, we're only going to do this once. Because I can't.
Yeah. That's powerful.
Or someone takes over.
Yeah.
And it's the way he said it. And it's like, and all the uniform and everything. I'm there. And I've been working on this scene sort of most of the day. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you just think, God, that really hurt.
Yeah, which is amazing, and it's
really
incredible
hurt.
to be a part of something like that. Even when it's horrifying, but it's amazing to be a part of something like that. Wait, so you were talking about the younger camera operator on Skyfall. When you have a B camera operator, what do you look for in a B camera operator? Like someone who's
Well,
coming
really, it all depends. I mean, B camera operators. I mean, I love B camera operating. I love second units.
I do too, actually.
I mean, I just love being on second units.
Yeah.
But as a B camera operator, you've got to let the A camera get in, and you've got to have a really lively eye. Mm-hmm. And I've been told I'm pretty good at it. I don't know. You'll have to tell me when you.
I've heard from people that you're pretty good.
No, I mean, and I can see things as a B camera operator.
Yeah.
When the A's there, and you just got to keep out the way. Mm-hmm. And I've got to tell you, the B camera gets the accolade because the A camera is getting the story.
Yeah.
And he's usually got the wide angle. You've got the beautiful close-up lenses, and you don't get to use any of the equipment.
No.
If the crane's there, it's A camera. If the dolly's there, unless you've got two dollies, it's the A camera.
Yep.
And so you've got nothing.
Yep.
You're flying by the seat of your pants.
But that's sometimes the best way because you got to make something good out of
yeah,
it. Right?
I love it.
Yeah.
And it comes back to the old days when when I first started, we used to do stuff with a ball of string and some sticky tape, and that was it.
Yeah.
we did a puppet show, and the guy turned around and said, "Why don't we put the camera upside down?" Well, why would you want to do that? He said, "Because I'm going to hang the puppets upside down, and no one will ever think of looking at their feet full of wires."
Ah, that's great.
And I remember when I went,
That's fantastic.
yeah, because
Yeah,
there's
that makes
nothing
a lot
there
of
to
sense.
say
No,
where
no,
it was.
there's
you know.
nothing to say that.
It wasn't
That's
real. And we all thought, bloody hell.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah,
And it was all done from underneath. But anyway, so from those days, coming into second unit,
yeah.
you know, you got to see these shots. You know, you got to also think about editing, which is another thing.
I was going to ask you about this.
Which is another thing you got to learn. I mean, I did a year with an editor in his suite,
This is,
Go.
what's his name?
Basil.
This is Basil, who has his. What does he have? A squeaky
Yes,
pig.
Yes, it's
Hi,
his
Basil.
favourite toy.
Yeah, Basil's very happy right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You gonna sit, Basil?
I spent a year with an editor, just watching him, sitting there in his suite,
Yeah.
as many nights as I could do a week.
Just a friend who was editing who you said, can I take
well,
a
he
look?
was
yeah.
he was a good editor.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
he wasn't
yeah. But I mean,
and he was a
somebody
mate.
you
But
know.
it,
Yeah.
and he let me sit there, and I learned all about editing. Why do you do that? Why?
Yeah.
Hey, Tone, look, if you do that, you can get that sort of effect.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
you know, and we don't always pick out the best shots. You know, if we do this. And
So
do
are
that.
you thinking about the edit on set then?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, especially as B camera, not so much as A, because you're building the scene.
Sure.
And with a B camera, you're doing the fillers.
Yeah, you're grabbing the
You know,
pieces.
if someone's stubbing a cigarette in the ashtray and it's important,
Yep.
you get left behind to do that shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And which is nice because sometimes you get left behind to light it as well. Mm-hmm. And so there's another little sort of bit to
yeah.
your CV. And it's like, you know, you've got to know, you know, obviously, you know, about the line, you know,
Yeah.
I won't go through that because you've
No,
obviously
of
had
course, yeah.
the thing about. And so you know the lines, you know where you're going to look, and you always put the tight camera on the inside and the wide on the outside, because it doesn't matter, you know, where they're looking, but it does matter on the tight camera
Yep.
because you can't have a wide eye line on tight. And you get used to doing eye lines and using the line and saying, and you think, well, I can get this or I can do that, or what about crossing the line, which is another thing.
Yeah.
You know, and if you've got the geography and they're against the wall, if I cross the line,
It's so funny because there's so many people who are afraid of that, and I always say, look, my whole thing is, well, there's the lighting, and that's another issue, and
Oh, yeah,
sometimes the DP doesn't want you to do it. But if it's not going to confuse you in the edit, then there's nothing wrong with it.
I mean, the French overs. I love a French over.
Yeah, absolutely. Or the other thing where someone's leaning in a doorway with their hand up, and people go, well, how are we going to get over there? It's like, he's standing in a doorway. You know who they're
Yeah.
talking to. It's not going to make a difference.
I mean, you know, you've got three people. Oh, we've always got to be on the left of this, and we've got
Yeah.
to be on the right. No, you don't have to be anywhere you like.
Yeah.
Put them in the middle.
Yeah.
If they're either side of your frame,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter
Looking
where he's
both
looking.
ways. It's
You know?
exactly right. Yeah, it's amazing how there are certain people who get stuck in these things. So, how long have you been operating now?
Oh, about 30 years. I
30
suppose,
years?
Yeah.
So you
so.
must get into situations where you get called and you're working with a director of photography who doesn't have the years that you have.
Yeah, but you know, it's a strange old thing. You know, operators are the diplomats of the film industry,
Yeah, right.
basically.
Yeah.
You know,
That's sort of why I
you
asked.
try and get an answer out of an operator, and it'll be, well, maybe you could. You know, I don't
There's
know
no
anyone
commitment.
that goes yes
or
or
what
no.
do you think of, or would this ever be a good? Yeah.
And talking about new people, even directors as well.
Yeah.
You know, you treat them with the same diplomacy like everyone. You know, right? I want you to go over here. Ooh, well, yeah, I think the cameraman may not like that because of the light. And it's like, oh, well, he'll be coming through the door on the right there, won't he?
Yeah.
So if I put it on the left, we're only going to get a short amount of travel out of him. Why don't we put him on the right? And the game is to make him think. You know, like it's usual people. You know, if you've got an ego, it's good to make them think that they've thought it. What do you?
They've come
and you
up
start
with
a
it
question
themselves.
like, you know, what do you think?
Yep. It's so
What do
funny
you
because
think?
the thing is, here I am all the way across the ocean, and another where you
And
do
we're
things
talking the
differently.
same
They do
language.
exactly the same stuff. And
Yeah.
I was saying to someone the other day, we were talking about a specific shot, and there was a big problem with the shot. And the big problem was I couldn't figure out how to Steadicam the stairs the way that the way they want. So you start it with like, I love what you've come up with here. It is. I love the fact that we're in front of them. We're bringing them down. It's so good. Let me just see. I just have a thought though. What if? Then, Jeff Haley is actually a great operator, and he told me he very specifically tells people that he's like, the first thing you do is you agree with everything. This is the best shot in the world.
I usually go through the cameraman if I'm trying
Yeah.
to change.
Yeah.
I will never ever leave my cameraman out.
Yeah.
I'll always go through.
Of course.
I would never dream of going up to an operator and saying, well, up to a director, sorry, and saying,
Yeah.
this is what we should do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, there are other things. With cameramen, they want to put their lights in a place because of a reason.
Well, you got to protect
And-
them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's your man. You got to protect him as well as he's got to protect you.
Yep.
And everything has to go through him. And you get the usual things like I'm thinking about going through that side window. There's a shot there looking through the window. Mm-hmm. It's quite obtuse. And I did it with a cameraman, putting the camera on its side.
Mm-hmm.
When we were they were in bed and we're on the top. And basically, I was thinking of just doing that.
I've done that show before, where you
Yeah.
go down to the side, but it's now sideways as opposed to
But we weren't going to drop it. We
Yeah.
were just going to. It was a cut.
yeah.
And we decided in the end we didn't know where everyone was, so
Didn't work.
it was too confusing.
Yeah.
But this is, sometimes it doesn't work, and
Yeah.
you've got to talk to the camera about it, and he did. And then look, and like, Tim, which I go back to again, was great, because he'd be on his monitor and go, nah, I don't think that's going to work, Tone.
Yeah.
It's like, fine by me, bang.
There you go. Boom.
I did a shot that was roughly a Steadicam shot, but I did it on a dolly, and I did it on a Fisher, a small Fisher.
Yeah.
And what it was coming around a darkened room like that, looking at all these people sleeping rough,
Just a little
coming around
from the middle.
They're in semi-darkness.
Yeah.
Then you come round to a table with two people talking quietly, and you do that.
Little
go
push in. Yeah.
Push in, push in, and stay there. And then the scene starts. They go to the door, and you come back and come up.
Bring them up. Yep.
And I decided to do it on the dolly because it was not easy. I like a dance floor, and I love working on dance
Oh
floors.
yeah.
and
Yeah.
stuff.
Absolutely.
And it's really weird. Because I started as an operator first, then went on to Steadicam, whereas some people start as Steadicam operator.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I always tell people, because of that, I see shots like that, not like that.
With the depth.
Yeah, I see it with depth.
Yep. Not flat on.
And a lot of Steadicam guys, if they start, they're very flat. And I thought with this it'd be much better. And I got to take my hat off to the grips. You had to change gearing.
Yeah, that's not an easy
We slowly
shot.
went round, and I got
little-
to do it so my body didn't move.
Yep. So he just takes you around and round and round, in the center, and then off to the races.
And then off we go and do it. Absolutely perfect shot. Would it have been better on Steadicam? I don't know. It didn't take long to set up. We did it.
But
4
at
or
the
5
end of the
times.
day, I mean, that's one of those things that doesn't even make a difference, because if it worked and everybody's happy, then
Yeah.
that was the right, that was a good way to do it.
I mean, I did have a director once say to me, "You don't like doing Steadicam, do you?" I said, "I love doing Steadicam."
It's got to
He
be
said-
right.
He said, "Well, why do you always say no?" And I said, "Well, I don't always say no." I said, "The shot you want me to do, I'm static,
Yeah.
and that's not good."
It's the right tool for the right job.
And like we had to go down the whole length of a church, just above the pews, going with this nun walking down the church. And he wanted to do it Steadicam. I said, "It's not a Steadicam shot."
No, there's going to be like the movement of the
Yeah.
pews, and
it's
you
got
want it to be locked.
because of the pews. It's got to
Yep.
be locked.
Yep.
And we did it on a 100-foot track. Absolutely beautiful shot.
Yep.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
And then,
But again, right tool for the right
Yeah.
tool for the job.
and then he said the static shot. He said, and I said to him, "Well, it's not a Steadicam shot."
no.
He went away for 5 minutes, came back, and he said, "Right, let's start on the doorknob, and then come back to show the church."
Yeah.
And I said, "That's a Steadicam
That's
shot."
Steadicam shot. Well, and the thing that I've had people say is like, well, but isn't it going to be faster on the Steadicam? And I've said, look, I can do it, and it will be faster because it's built or whatever. But the question is, do you want it done because it's the best way to do it, or do you want it done because faster? Because I can do
Yeah.
either, but they're not the same.
But nowadays, it's just as fast to set up a camera.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
They're
if
so
you're
quick.
doing, I mean, how many times have you done a job and they said, "Oh, we just want to do a close up on his eyes.
Yeah.
Just stay there.
Just stay there for a
just put
minute,
it,
and
just
then-
stay
yeah.
there." And of course, I had to say, "Well, let's put it on the stand."
Yeah.
And now with things like the Volt and all that, you can actually get quite steady. But
Yeah,
I say
yeah.
to him, "Well, if it's close," I said, "you're going to get that little move, and I don't think that's right.
it
I mean,
should-
if you want to concentrate, you've got to be static."
That's exactly right.
And as you say, a tool for every job.
Well, and the thing is, by the time that you've discussed it and they've said what they've said and whatever, you could have pulled the dolly out, put the camera. I mean, that's 9 times out of
Exactly.
10. Let's just move forward, do it the right way, and that's the way.
Plus,
to
in
go.
a lot of jobs I do now, you don't move the camera off the Steadicam.
No.
It's on there permanently.
Yeah, it is.
So you've got the camera staying by on a dolly, just wheel wheel it in.
Yep. Just boom, boom,
Takes
boom.
5 seconds, even on a set of sticks.
Yep. Yep.
Just smash it
Yeah,
in.
I've been in a couple of shows where I just even stopped doing that, and I just go, let's just bring the dolly in, and they start bringing it in, and they go, why are we bringing the dolly? Well, it's already here, so
Yeah.
okay, we're ready, and by then there's
I mean,
nothing
plus
to be
if you're
argued
doing close-ups like that, you're looking at focus, you're looking at what
with.
you
Yeah,
can
and
see
it's
in the
not fair
background.
to the assistant,
And you can't
yeah.
you can't do that on a Steadicam,
exactly
really.
right.
Not belittling Steadicam.
No.
It's just that
There's-
it's not the thing. Because that's the other thing. I'm not sure when I was talking to you about this earlier, but when I was talking to quite a few operators that had just started and all that, and I said to them, "What do you do when you look through the camera?" And they said, "Well, we got the shot, we set it up and make sure they don't bump out the top of frame, make sure they don't go out the sides, and keep them in the shot, and that's it, bang." And is that it? And they went, "Well, yeah." And I said, when I look through the camera, and I said, this is where it's going wrong nowadays. When I look through the camera, I'm looking at the lighting, I'm looking at the focus, I'm looking at what else I can do to improve the shot I've got, I'm looking at where I'm going to go after I've done the shot, and I'm looking at the acting. And I said, and the clothing, the hairline, if they're wearing a wig, can I see the net? All this I'm looking at when we're doing the shot, because sometimes you get time to do it, other times you don't, but you get used to doing it. And it's like in the old days when you use a focus puller, you work from the front of the lens. What's in the matte box? What's the yardage? What's the
well, there's a process.
what's
yeah?
the size?
Yeah,
What's
yeah,
the stop?
Yeah.
What's the filter?
Yeah.
Bang, and what's the speed? Done, ready. And you say turn over. But that's what we used to do. When everyone says, right, turn over, and you go right the way down it, flick the switch, wait 2 seconds and go running.
You know everything's set. Yeah. Well, and I think I do the same thing that you're doing. The way that I always do it is I'm looking through there and I'm wondering, what have I missed?
Yeah.
What did I miss that's wrong? Because there's always, or it could be better.
But the thing I couldn't believe was these guys weren't clearing the floor. You know, when you look through and you're right, take that cable out. What's that piece of sticky tape doing on the floor? There's a bottle behind that. I'm doing
Wow,
this.
Really?
I
That's
do all
amazing.
that.
Yeah.
And it's like they don't do it.
Well, the process has definitely changed, and also like nobody's given the time that we used to have. So I don't think people are they're not trained to do the things that. Yeah.
It's a shame because I think
It's been lost. There's something that's been lost there. There's
because
no question about it.
no, that's the when you say there's a bottle on the mantelpiece, that's the prop man's problem. That's
No,
his
it's
fault.
not. It's in your frame. It's your
Yeah,
problem.
I mean, if I'm shooting it, I'm in trouble.
There's
and
no
it's like,
question about it.
and there's
Yeah.
this very slight thing where it's going off the rails a bit. But I think we're getting there.
Yeah,
it's, you know,
look, and there are people like you who are still keeping it. I mean, that's the thing is you got to teach people, and
Yeah.
you got to tell them why it's important, and you got to point out you don't have to do it a second time because you caught it on the first one, and that's that's what it is. So, is there a movie or a project that you did that you think doesn't get the credit that it didn't get the credit it deserves, like a favorite or something?
Oh, that's
Are there too many?
yeah, that's a hard. That's
Yeah,
a
sometimes
hard.
some people can't do it because you worked on a lot of great movies.
Yeah, I mean that's a hard one. I mean, Star Wars was brilliant.
Yeah.
Even Superman in the old days, you look at them now and you think, Jesus, there's a load of rubbish.
But back then,
But back then, that was cutting edge.
Sure.
Bridge Too Far will never change.
Okay.
That was
I'll give
always
you
a
that.
good.
I'll give you that.
That was
Yeah,
always a
that's
good film.
That's
and the special effects in it.
No, it's fantastic.
pretty
and
naff.
that's history.
But it works.
Yeah.
It works.
No.
And it's probably one of the biggest films. As I was saying before, I mean, that was, I think, £20 million. That was the biggest film ever in that day.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we went on to Superman, which was like 25 million.
Yeah.
And this is like peanuts nowadays.
Yeah, no, it's nothing.
Yeah,
But back then,
a Bond film costs about 450 million to make it now.
No, they couldn't even think of that back then. Wow.
No.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's mental health. Things have
It's
gone.
crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Apart from my wages.
Yeah. Well, listen, this has been fantastic. I really appreciate it. I want to leave you with a question that I leave everybody with, which is basically advice for someone getting into the business now and how to succeed, or maybe what do you wish you knew back then, that you didn't, that you know now, and I'll just let you take us.
Well, I think this is what I tell all my guys that come in with me. This is trainees, loaders and focus pullers. Basically, now we've got lots of guilds that you can get in touch with that will put you in touch with people. Listen, take it all in, be a sponge, just take everything in like a sponge. And the hire houses, don't be afraid to go to a hire house and say, may I have a look at your cameras, and da-da-da. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to have people in there getting ready for films, and they'll only be too happy to say, "Oh, this is what we do with the lens, and we do that, and whatever." Ask questions. Ask as many questions as you want. If someone's bugging me with questions, then I'm not a good teacher. I mean, you've got to pick your times. Obviously, when you're doing different things, you can't do it. But if I've got downtime, I'll always turn around to my left or right and see who's next to me, and give them a piece of information that they don't want or they do want, even if it's where the sandwich is stored. But take it all in, and with the young guys, and girls that are coming in, do it properly. Do everything properly. Learn as much as you can about the job that you're doing and about the job that you're going to do, because knowledge is king. If I'm a comedian, and I have been all my life. When I'm on the floor, I'm very light-hearted, but it's because of my nerves, and I use that as a sort of like a safety. And the worse the shot is, the harder it is, the more I'm quite flippant. But that's me. That's how I work. And someone said to me once, if you're going to be a comedian, you've got to learn your trade. And I've always remembered that, and I've always kept it with me, and I learnt my trade. And because the first thing you do, if you're messing about or you're doing anything like that, and someone says, "Oh, Tony, he's not that good, he's always messing about." If something goes wrong, it's your fault. If you know your trade and it doesn't go wrong, you're fine. If it goes wrong and you know the problem, you're fine. But if you've got half the knowledge and you're half cocked, you're never going to have longevity in this industry. And I've been here 50 years, so I'm not doing too bad at the moment.
I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. We'll be back soon with another great episode. Don't forget to check us out on theop.io for all sorts of information on operating and storytelling. So thanks for listening and have a great day.